Okay, starting with question number 7 on our two-step word problems homework. Okay, question 7. Sumli won 40 super bouncy balls playing horseshoes at her school's game night. Later, she gave 2 to each of her friends. She only has 8 remaining. So how many friends does she have? Or how many friends did she give these balls to, right? So F equals friends that Sumli has. And let's see, she won 40, and then she gave 2 to each friend, 2 to F, and then in the end, she had only 8. So this should tell our story. So minus 40, so we get a negative 2, F equals, and this is going to be negative 32. We know we are still right because we had a positive number of bouncy balls. Okay, so divide by negative 2. So F is equal to a positive 16. And that means she has 16 friends. I don't believe she has maybe that many friends total, but that she gave a prize to. Okay, so Mani spent half her weekly allowance playing mini golf. To earn more money, her parents let her wash her car for $4. So what is her weekly allowance if she ended with $12? Whatever this is equal to $12. Also, she added 4 to it to be equal to $12. So I'm kind of working backwards here. And then she spent half her weekly allowance playing mini golf. So she started with a weekly allowance, then she spent half of it, added 4, and that equals 12. Okay, so subtract 4 from both sides. That means, I should simplify first, but well, let's just do this. So a minus a over 2 is going to be equal to 8. And what is a whole minus a half? That's just going to be a half. So a over 2 equals 8. So I need to multiply this by 2 on both sides in order to make this a whole, right? So that cancels. 8 times 2 is 16. So A equals 16, which means that her weekly allowance is $16. Okay. On the second page, number 9, Aaliyah had some candy to give to 4 children. She first took 10 pieces for herself, then evenly divided the rest among her children. So she has some kids. She has 4 kids. So she first took 10 pieces for herself, then evenly divided it among her children. Each child received 2 pieces. With how many pieces did she start? So our X is the number of pieces at start. And we're going to say that she took, so whatever she started with, she took 10 from. And then that remainder, the whole thing, she divided by 4. That, what each child got is the equivalent of that. So each child received 2 pieces. So the question is, how many did she start with? Oops. Okay, so let's solve. So first we'll multiply each side by 4. In order to get this out of the denominator, and we get p minus 10 is equal to 8. And then we can add 10 to both sides, and p is equal to 18. So she started with 18 candies. Okay, how old am I if I reduced, how old am I if 400 reduced by 2 times my age is 244. So 400 minus 2 times my age, so 2a is equal to 244. So I add 400 to both sides. I subtract 400 from both sides. So negative 2a is equal to negative 156. I need to divide by negative 2 in order to get my coefficient to be 1. So a is equal to 78 once I do the math. So 78 years old is the answer. Okay, I'm going kind of quick just so I don't run out of time. I'm hoping you guys have already done this and you're just using this to kind of check your work. Jill sold half of her comic books and then bought 16 more. She now has 36. With how many did she begin? So C is your comic books at the beginning. So C, start with that, and then sold half your comic books. So subtract C over 2. And then she bought 16 more, plus 16 equals what she has now. So it's 36. Okay, now solve. Let's simplify first. A whole minus a half is just a half. We're going to subtract 16 from both sides. So that is C over 2 is equal to 20. And in order to find out what a whole is, a half of our total is 20, so a whole of our total must be 2 times that. Whoops, excuse me. C equals 40. Okay, so 40 comics. All right. Number 12. For a field trip, 4 students rode in cars and the rest filled 9 buses. How many students were in each bus if there were 472 students total? Sounds a lot like the first problem we did today. Whoops, 472 total. And then what do you have to do to get to 472? Well, 9 buses plus 4 students. Subtract 4 from both sides. We get 9b equals 468. And when we do the math, 9b, or a single b, divide by 9, a single b is equal to 52. So 52 on each bus. Okay, let's see if we can get the last ones done. So Shanice bought 5, on Tuesday Shanice bought 5 hats. On Wednesday, half of all the hats that she had were destroyed. On Thursday, there were only 17 left. So how many did she have on Monday? So she started out with some hats. She bought 5. And then half of them were destroyed. So we're going to take that whole thing and divide it by 2. And that's what equals 17. This was kind of a hard one to write. So wouldn't be surprised if you found that challenging. We need to divide both sides by 2 to get the 2 out of the denominator. H plus 5 is equal to 34. Subtract 5 from both sides. H is equal to 29 hats on Monday. Okay, and then our last one, the cooking club, sounds like a fun club, has made some pies to sell at a basketball game. This sounds like a lot of fun. To raise money for new math books, can't get any better than that. It's all kinds of fun. The cafeteria contributed 4 pies to the sale. Each pie was then cut into 5 pieces and sold. There were a total of 60 pieces to sell. Now, how many pies did the club make? So we'll set our variable equal to the question. P equals how many pies the club made. Excuse me. So, okay, we started out with a certain amount of pies, and then we added 5 to it. I'm sorry, we added 4, excuse me, because the cafeteria contributed 4 pies. And then we cut that into 5 pieces. So that means that for every pie, we multiplied the number of pieces by 5. Or we multiplied the amount we're talking about by 5 to equal the pieces we had to sell. So all these are the pies we had. We cut them into 5 pieces, and then that amount was the pieces we sold. So we can solve for p like that. We are going to then divide by 5. Divide by 5. P plus 4 is equal to 12. Subtract 4, and p is equal to 8 pies. Okay, nice doing math with you guys.